Hi there, Joka here, and in this video I'm going to show you a few cards with the Spellbinders Windows with a View collection. This first die kit is called, I'm gonna have to check my phone, is called Coastal Escape View, and as you can see there's quite a few pieces in this, and in fact this whole collection is quite large. I think there were 7 products in it, 5 die kits, a stencil, and a stamp. I tried to use as many as possible, but I did not end up using them all. However, I wanted to leave these in here so that you can see every piece. I think this one is one set that I did not use because a few months ago I had a similar one that I created cards with here. I think I posted it on this channel as well, so I didn't want to repeat myself at the moment. Maybe some other time. This next one is called Up in the Air View, and you can see there's some elements that you can use for different weather. Up next is a sentiment set that is really useful, a bunch of different fonts in there. Now the next one is called Backyard Haven View. This one I actually have in the original packaging, so you can see if you have not had a product from Spellbinders yet. And this one is called Background Scapes Stencils. And I have not used this. You know that I don't really use a lot of ink. Well, not recently. And you can see here that you can use this stencil a bunch of different ways, as a negative or positive stencil. And you also have the peaks of the mountain there. So it's pretty handy, that stencil. And now this last one is basically the main element, a big window and the planter. Again, something I had very recently, so I will only use this window once, I think. And I'm trying to just go about with the or going to use the other smaller elements. And actually, you know, when I have time, that is actually what I really like to do. Take the really like small elements and create a bunch of different things, different patterns and such. But this time I did something else. And the one thing I did do is I chose pattern papers, but I will talk about that in a minute. Now I'm putting together the fence. I think you can build this as little or as, you know, as big, as wide as you want. I guess this was supposed to be, well, was not supposed to be crooked like I built it, but I kind of like that whimsy feel to that. And yeah, I just wanted to show you how I build that together. Now I will create a card with just the umbrellas, and then oh my god, what is this called? Oh, kite. So I die cut the kite from white heavyweight cardstock, and what I showed you is that it's very easy to cut it apart. So I die cut it from 4 different pattern papers, and then I cut them apart, and I'm creating several kites with 4 different pattern papers. As you can see, I kind of puzzle them together on top of that white cardstock, and then this is what the finished element looks like. Then obviously I did a lot of those and I set them aside, and then I'm going to do some stamping because I wanted to create some cards where I have the stamping directly on the card base. And as you can see, I am doing a test before I commit to it. First of all, I wanted to see what it looks like. and where I have to apply more pressure on my stamping tool. And I'm also stamping onto this window. I layered up 2 of these heavyweight cardstock windows so that I can add some foam tape. And now this is my least favorite thing to do, but I did want to add some black sentiment, and I am gonna show you why I hate this. Absolutely hate it. I hate to say hate, but did you see that? It's so, I will need to buy some other powder because this is really not cutting it for me. This, what is it called? You know, the one that I use first, this white powder that is supposed to avoid all the flyaways, but it just doesn't do it. So I really need to find something else. And it didn't used to be like that, actually. I've been using this for years and years, and I don't know why I'm having this issue now. Anyway, I cleaned it up as much as possible, but this is why I don't like to do any embossing, especially not on white cardstock. Sorry, black, because it's full of flyaways. So, moving on. The first card. This has probably the most elements that I die cut, and everything is 2 layers. There's a pattern paper layer, either that or a cardstock layer, but even then I added a second layer of cardstock, so everything is nice and sturdy. And now I'm just assembling everything, but you know, at this point I already glued the layers together. I just don't want to spend any time on that. In the videos, I'm going to always do that step, well, away from my desk, or at least not in the video. So I chose, actually, originally I wanted to choose my favorite, it's an old collection from Fancy Pants. I am not sure if it's called Summer Vibes or something. But then I also brought in some other pattern papers because it was just not enough. But this is one of those collections that I like to use for summer projects all the time, but I do actually have a lot of summer collections. Maybe I should really use some other one next time. I feel like I keep using the same pattern papers in every pattern paper video. But anyway, so I die cut, as you can see, the tree trunk, the greenery, and the sun from pattern papers. And I wasn't sure what I want to do with this, actually, with this card, but I really like these little elements, so I pretty much die cut everything, and then I decided what I will add to my card. Some clouds, of course, and I'm adding a variety of foam tapes, and I'm saying that because they are all different thickness, just so that there's different layers there, a variety in depth. Then I just really like this fence, honestly. There's no rhyme or reason why I put it there, but I just really liked it, so yeah. And I didn't want to make it so small, so yeah. no reason, honestly. And then on the left, I don't remember what this element is called, with the, you know, where the birds drink. I'm sure it has some name. I don't even know it in my mother tongue, but you know what I'm talking about. And I put my little squirrel on top. That actually is 2 pieces of die cuts, so I could make his tail from a different or darker color brown. And then I have some tall grass there, and there's also some little flowers for the tree that I will now place on top. And I think this one I did not die cut from pattern paper because it was a bit busy. Or I did die cut it, I just didn't like it, so I just used some pink cardstock. And I'm gonna put some flowers on the, basically on the grass, but it's kind of like the ground, you know. Again, no particular reason for it. I just wanted to add some pink there, and I had more die cuts than I needed, I guess. So yeah, again, some dimension. I added foam tape there, and of course, because I have die cuts that have two heavyweight cardstock layers, they are quite dimensional. So if I want to add anything on top of that, I have to make it flush with the surface, otherwise it could just crush in the mail. So I will add foam tape to those areas. Now, normally I would use enamel dots for my flower centers, but these were so tiny, and even the smallest enamel dots are way too large. So I just use these gems from Spellbinders. I don't know what the color is, but if you watch, you can actually probably read it. But I'm going to try to remember and add everything to the description box below. So next card, this one is super simple. I die cut my little umbrellas from a variety of pattern papers, a lot of my favorite ones. And then I also die cut them from white cardstock like always and layer them up. And now I am adding a really thin foam tape. So again, just for some dimension. And of course, I already have my white card base that I already stamped with the sentiment. And I just cut a piece of pattern paper for my background. And this is obviously smaller than the card base. I don't remember how big it is, but all of my cards in this video, as an exception, are A2 sized. Somehow, I guess I wanted to save time. You know, if it's 5x7, it always takes longer. I need a lot more die cuts. So yeah, I guess that's why I went with the A2. And as you can see, I added a little bit of white gel pen detail to the umbrellas, just to, well, it's not that it makes them stand out, but you know, just for something little extra. And I actually wanted to cut these umbrellas apart because there's 3 sections to them, and I wanted to piece them back together from 3 different colors. But then I thought this would be better, I guess. Next up is my window card, and for this I die cut the window from the pattern paper because this is one of my favorite pattern papers and I did not want to waste that middle part. Otherwise I could have just added that color cardstock on top, but I just really didn't want to waste that paper. So I die cut the sky from, not really, it's like a pool kind of color because that went with my other cards better. I did not want to use blue, so it's kind of, it's more of a green tone. And then because I really like these kites, I'm adding as many as possible. No reason, again, why I didn't add something else as well. I just really like the kites. So I kind of try to arrange it in a way that I found it pleasing to my eyes. And then I'm going to glue everything down. I don't like to create repetitive patterns in a way, how should I explain this, that are very symmetrical, you know. I prefer random patterns, and I guess this is why I also placed my kites to one side rather, you know, rather than, because it just, to me, it just looks more organic or more like real life, you know. They would be all over the place, not very organized, so to say, if that makes any sense at all. But that's my thought process behind it. And then I'm adding some foam tape to my window frame, and that will pretty much be it, because I already have my sentiment on the window. And of course you could create a nice shaker element with this, but you know, if sorry, I cannot even talk. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't like to make shaker cards. I'm just a bit too lazy. These would be perfect for shaker cards as well. This is actually, I think, kind of my favorite set. I just like boats. So I think I added actually 2 layers of white cardstock to this one. First of all, the pattern paper is really, really thin, and I wanted this to be dimensional and also sturdy. I wanted to add some foam tape to it, and I will create 2 cards with this die set because it has such cute elements. And one of them, when you look out of the window, it's gonna be, you're gonna see waves and palm trees. I was struggling with those waves a little bit. I wasn't sure how to really place them, but I just settled on something. It might not look the way it was intended to look. And I die cut these from pattern papers as well as white cardstock, and I didn't want to throw away anything, so I just kind of offset some of them, like for white foam, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to place my little island in between the waves there. Probably doesn't make any sense, but that's what it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna represent. And so that's going to be one of my cards, and you will see that I am going to use pattern paper as a background, like a wallpaper on my boat, because who says that I cannot have pretty wallpaper in there, right? Even in a U-boat, why not, if I design it? So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here. Just find the arrangement that I want, and then I am trimming off everything, all the excess that I don't need. With every layer I'm doing it separately, otherwise I don't think I would be able to fussy cut around it very easily. And then sometimes I don't know, when I cut too many layers, my scissors are going in all kinds of direction that I don't intend to do, so I just do it with every layer. So that's my wallpaper, and then this is the background for that window, just so that it stands out. And I also die cut the same size circle from white cardstock, so that behind my holes, those holes on the window, there is white, not pattern paper. And then I'm adding my little island there, and I'm adding one of these black sentiments or black cardstock strip. And I did add a second layer of cardstock to that, and also some foam tape, and that's gonna be my card. And as you can see, the pattern paper I like to, or even cardstock, but the background for my card base is always kind of like a 1/4 inch smaller, so that it has a white frame. I prefer that, but I like a skinny frame. Okay, so these are the 3 elements that I had to put together. Just 2 little fish and what was it? The anchor. I love anchors. I don't know why. I just love anchors. And by the way, I'm sure I already mentioned that, but my mother-in-law lives on a boat, so these types of projects are always welcome. Although obviously she has no storage space. But so I am creating some waves, and there was this paper. This is actually from, I think, from Alice Studio, ancient collection that apparently I've never used. So there was a paper that had like a ombre kind of setup. So you had a bunch of stripes on it. Actually, they were waves, kind of, that I could die cut from. So I have a bit of depth to my project. And then I just die cut around the whole thing once I figured out how I want to layer those. And now I figured I only had 2 corals, but I found that I needed some more to fill up that circle, so I die cut some more from pattern paper. And those 2 I did not bother backing with white cardstock, because I'm just going to add them directly to the background. So it's okay that it doesn't, that it's not very sturdy, you know. What I wanted to mention, actually, because I keep bringing in the Stax, these craft Stax, you know, it's new in the store, this storage system, and I honestly thought that I'm never gonna use them, but they, you know, because they are stackable, they take up less space on my table than the projects that I have lying around. So now in every one of them, I have a different die set, and with the die cuts, or even everything that I need for my card, or just the next products that I need to work with, like what is coming up, the club dies, and also the embossing folder that fits into the big one. And so I have a stack of these, and they don't take up space on my desk, and I'm so happy with them. I just wanted to mention that. So I really use them. I really did not think that I would, to be honest, but they are really handy. So that is my next card, or the last card, and you can see that I added some twine to my anchor, and I also kind of wrapped it around, and I will add some foam tape here, and then also some liquid glue to keep that twine in place here, just so that, because I wanted to add kind of like a loop to it. So it's not very special, but it's just a bit of a dimension. So there you go. So these are my cards. They are all quite well, easy to make for sure. Quite simple, I think, but especially these ones where you just add some of the same elements from different colors. But I do like to create patterns like that. And then we have this one with all the little elements, and also my favorite sentiment. I think that font is beautiful. It's tiny. I love it. And then this last one with the kite. I hope I could give you some ideas with this beautiful new collection. Sorry, this video was a bit long, but I hope I could help you in some small way. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.